for word, bite for bite. But use what other people are doing. Sometimes we're so afraid of like, well, what are people gonna think? And how do I look? And does it need to be perfect? Social media is huge.
Yeah.
So to be able to say, no, I'm not gonna do social media, you're taking a huge part of where, your brand can be.
Hello and welcome to the Realist Podcast, where we have the cream of the crop, the best and the brightest real estate professionals in the Houston area.
Hey, I'll take that, I guess.
And today we have Christian. Christian, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and I see you have your Astros gear.
Go Stros.
Yes.
We're a little down, but we're not out. So I think I have hope.
Yes, we
can
sure
do.
do. And we are all right there with you because we need those Stros to
represent
keep on
H-Town.
going. Yes, sir. Okay, so really quickly, some icebreaker questions. Coffee or soda?
Coffee.
Downtown or the suburbs?
Downtown.
Eating in with the family or eating out with the family?
Eating out.
For sure? Who's the cook in the family?
The wife and my mom are the cooks, for
Oh,
sure.
nice. And you prefer to go out? I'm going to tell them.
Man,
No,
you don't
I'm
have to
just
go to worry
kidding.
about dishes.
Yeah, for
you can
sure.
just get the ambiance of the city.
Yeah.
Eating out.
Okay, so what's your favorite restaurant? One recommendation for the public.
There's this one Colombian restaurant that I've loved since the early 90s. I'm in the 1900s. And it's called La Fogata. And it's a Colombian restaurant, and I just been in love with it. I can eat there almost every other day.
Do you have the same dish or do you
Same
try
dish.
different?
Nothing's
What's your
changed.
favorite from there?
It's a popular Colombian dish called bandeja paisa, and then with their empanadas, and it's just
Yeah. Okay. We're going to have to stop by there sometime this month, babe. Yeah?
You gotta go. You gotta get it.
Alrighty. Okay. So we are so excited that you took the time. It was a long drive because we live in Houston, but Houston is like, you can still be in Houston and you're like 3 hours away, right?
Yeah, exactly. I did a deal done. I got a deal done in like Atascocita Lake, Houston, and it was about an hour and a half drive away. I'm like, dang, man, I drove past Galveston pretty much for this one, but just different directions.
It's crazy how amazing. It's amazing that you give that opportunity to your clients. Like, do you want to live a city life? Do you want to live a more rural life?
That's
right?
what I love Houston. It's like, as long as you love what you do, the drives really aren't anything, and you just kind of strategically time traffic, spend your time. Like, I do a lot of audibles. So just audible or just jam music, the ride's not bad.
I like it. So are you into like more business-minded books or just like to relax your brain?
Definitely like business-minded, motivational kind of books.
Okay, I like it. What are you listening to now?
Right now, I'm finishing up the book called Ninja Selling.
Ooh.
Really good book. If I can recommend one book, motivational, definitely Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins.
Ooh, I love it. David Goggins. He's a beast. Okay, awesome. So we knew we had to have you on because you used to be a teacher
yes.
and we used to be teachers, and
That's
we're
crazy.
like, a lot of our clients used to be teachers. We're like all running away from the teacher life.
I know what's going on with public education right now.
Okay, so take me back if you want to, back there to how that transition happened. Tell us, how did you get started in real estate?
So I was a teacher for the first 10 years of my adult life, right?
Oh, wow.
So literally from 23 to 33, teacher. And I loved it. I poured my heart out in the kids. And my favorite thing in teaching was to just build just good relationships, solid, authentic relationships with your students. I was a high school teacher. And, slowly it just wasn't the same anymore. And it had nothing to do with the students. It had nothing to do with the kids. And that's a whole nother podcast right there. Like the fall of public ed. No. And so.
Hey, but the students aren't so innocent either.
The students aren't so innocent. But at least with the students, like people were like, oh man, was it the students that are getting worse? And I'm like, you know what? The students are bad. Yeah, cool. But I signed up for that, right?
Yeah.
Like, people are like, well, was it the pay? And it's just like, I know pay is not the best, but like I signed up for that,
Yeah.
It's when you add all these other things, it's just like, bro, I didn't sign up for that, you know?
For sure.
And so was a teacher. I still consider, there's always a phrase like once teacher, always teacher, right? So I'm just taking the love I have with building relationships, the love I have for educating, right? But just doing it in real estate. My dad, we were talking about this earlier, right? My dad, Raul's dad too, general contractor. So we've been around just homes for a long time. I'm familiar with homes. I enjoy homes, houses, building houses, new constructions, all, right? Rental property. And so I was just like, look, I still love teaching and educating. I
Mhm.
love homes. Like, let's put these two together, you know?
Yes, I love it. And so, how did you make the transition? How did you even learn like real estate can be an option for me?
Right. So honestly, it all started during COVID,
Mhm.
right? And during quarantine. And I was just thinking, man, should go into real estate. But my mentality back then was, man, there's so many realtors in Houston,
Yeah.
right? There's so many, everyone wants to be, and
Thousands.
everyone knows a realtor. So I'm like, okay, no, no, but my mentality just started changing. We're like, it's not that everyone knows a realtor and everyone is a realtor. Anyone can become a realtor. It's just like, what's going to separate you, right? What's going
Mm.
to set you apart,
Mhm.
right? And so just having a different mindset of like, okay, yeah, there could be this many realtors, but what are the top 5% doing, right? What are
Mhm.
the top producers doing, right? I want to get to that point.
Yeah.
And so, got my license in earlier this year, and through the power of networking, got connected with Miriam Valencia, who's my broker right
Miriam,
now at
yes.
Alumbra. And she's just awesome, right?
Wow.
She's a freaking go-getter,
Yeah.
top producer, and she does her thing.
Mhm.
And so just power of networking, connected with her, was under her team, grew so much, continue to learn, continue to grow. And here we are now.
Yes, that's right. I love it. So tell me a little bit more about that connection that you made with Miriam. You said networking. How was it, an event? Was it social media?
So it was just one of those things where a friend of a friend of a friend.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
And so just say, hey, you need to talk to this one other realtor. Friend connected me with another realtor. Realtor connected me with Miriam. And, Miriam was like, yeah, we have a team. And she was like, we were just vibing. First conversation over the phone, everything was just clicking. And literally the next day, met her at I believe it was like an open house or like a training open
Yeah.
house and all kind of stuff. And it was just like from then on, just hit the ground running.
Wow. I love it whenever you're able to meet with people and you connect with them, you vibe with them, like you were saying,
Yeah.
and you know, like, this is going to work because I already feel it
Hmm.
with the way that they speak, with the way that they are, with the way that they are communicating
Yeah.
things.
It's
That's
all about
powerful.
having the right mentality. And once I knew who Miriam was and what she's about, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is where I need to be.
Yeah. And so that networking, the way that you guys connected was very powerful too because it was a friend of a friend. And so the way that these our favorite transactions or not transactions but our favorite clients and people to work with happen is whenever like-minded people get us connected
Yeah.
because I mean I'm working with you because I love how you are and so you're going to connect me with somebody that you
Right.
similar to you that lives like you, similar
And like
thinking.
right, right. And it's just the power of networking, the power of just putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Right. I think people, sometimes we're so timid. Sometimes we're so afraid of like, well, what are people going to think? And how do I look? And does it need to be perfect? It's just like, man, just put yourself out there, be
Yeah.
genuine,
Mhm.
be real. And that's one thing, like I said, even from as a teacher, I was like, I just got to be real with these kids, right?
Mhm.
They're teenagers and they can smell fakeness from a mile away.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right. So just be real and people are going to love that and respect that.
Yeah. That's powerful. That's powerful. So, how did it go from there? So, you said this year you got your real estate
This
license
year
in what month?
in January.
In January.
Yes.
And then you got connected to
In
Miriam
about mid-February.
February. And
Yep.
so, how has that journey been in these past few
It's
months?
it's been a crazy journey, from mid-February all the way to the end of May when I resigned teaching. I was doing both. And man, I was trying to do because there's a lot of teachers who do real estate on the side.
Mhm.
And I think that's definitely like people do it. A lot of people do it and they make it work. But I was really trying to do real estate 100%
Yeah.
while still teaching 100%. And man, that ran me dry.
Yeah.
And I'd never been so tired besides like that first semester earlier this year, but just trucked it through. I knew, and I feel so bad for my students, but I
Mhm.
knew this was going to be my last semester. I told my
Mhm.
students towards the end because I didn't want to like, let it to
Yeah.
be sad or anything. But once I got through that, hit the summer, just ground pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. Anyone who knows the game of real estate knows that can be up and down and, it can be crazy. But at the end of the day, you just kind of put your head to the plow and go at it and
Yeah.
you'll see you'll reap the benefits, I guess.
For sure. So I think the way that I first found you was on social media, and you were making videos as a coach slash, I think your name is Coach Salazar, right?
Yeah.
On Instagram.
It's Coach
Was
Salazar.
that one of your main strategies to getting out there? How did you feel so comfortable on camera?
So honestly, again, right after COVID and we came back to teaching, I just started making TikTok videos. Started making Instagram reels. And really the focus then was I want to be able to make videos where teachers can relate to and laugh,
Mm-hmm.
but where also students can relate to and laugh. So
Mm-hmm.
my videos are made for two audiences, right?
Yeah.
Either the student or the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like I'm there for people to just laugh and connect. It's all
Yeah.
about connect, right? Because if someone connect with you, then that goes a long ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already used to making little skits, little, voiceovers, all that kind of stuff in regards to teaching. And I have a bunch. I'm like, if you scroll down long enough, you'll see them.
That's awesome.
And I still love them. I probably should reshare some of them every now and then. But as I transition to real estate, I still want to have that same mindset,
Yeah.
right? I wanted to be able to relate to either a realtor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're a client,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
so my page is filled with videos that if you're a realtor you can relate to, but also if you're a client you can relate to. And just even I put on my bio, right, come to laugh but stay to learn. So
I
I try to
love
put
that.
some videos out there where you can laugh and
Mm-hmm.
share and have a good time and be like, oh man, this is how I feel. And there's some where you're like, man, this is informative, right? Coach
Yeah.
Salazar is coming through with some intel.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really trying to do.
I love that strategy because people are able to see your personality. Like if somebody, I was just talking yesterday to trying to teach them what a cold lead is and then a hot lead. And I love social media because it takes away some of that coldness
Hmm.
and brings it into a little bit more of a warm lead once they start following you. And if they don't like to laugh, that's fine. Like you said, there's thousands of other realtors. They can go to a more serious one. But
Right.
the ones that love to laugh and learn
Yeah.
and get connected with your personality, they'll stay, they'll start scrolling, and then eventually business can come out of it.
No, for sure. And it
Yeah.
has already. I've already seen the fruits of the labor of it, where people are just messaging you about questions, people messaging
Wow.
you about getting their new lease, getting their
Mhm.
house sold, and getting
Yeah.
information. So it definitely works,
Yeah.
right? It's not the only avenue that works,
Mhm.
right? But if that's something for you, like you can make it.
I love that. So do you have any tips for people that are wanting to get started into making more videos, or agents that want to reach out or make their brand a little bit more known,
Yeah.
become more visible? What tips do you have for
I
them?
would say two things would be: one, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. We look for like, oh man, was this recorded in 4K and portrait mode, and does it have the right captions, and
Yeah.
do I have the right song behind it, right? But at the end of the day, like it doesn't have to be perfect. It has
Mhm.
to be good quality, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And then two, I would definitely say is teachers know this.
Mhm.
You can borrow, I say the word borrow, ideas from other teachers and make it your own.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
don't go word for word, bite for bite, but use what other people are doing,
Mhm.
but make it your own, right? And relate it to your own audience, but you don't have to reinvent the wheel,
For sure.
right? So I use a lot of like
Mhm.
voiceovers, from people like movie skits, how they all those
Yeah.
little voiceover things, right? And I'll see what other people are doing. Maybe this person's making a video in regards to photography. Maybe this
Mhm.
person's making a video in regards to a different realm of life, a different journey, right? I'm like, okay, how can I take this and this joke, but related to real estate,
Yeah.
you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be so complicated, so like extremely thought out.
No.
It's important to be able to loosen up. And of course the first video is going to be terrible.
Yeah.
The second one, the
Oh,
third one.
I have some cringy videos out there for sure. But and I think
We
that's
have
the
to
third
go
thing.
find them.
No, no, you will find them. But that's the third thing too. Don't be afraid of making fun of yourself, right?
Mhm.
Don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
That was my thing. That was my bread and butter as a teacher. It was like I would love to joke around,
Yeah.
but I would also like to make myself look like cringy. I would like myself
Mhm.
to look, because the students get a kick out of it,
Yeah.
get a kick out of it, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, don't be afraid to make yourself look not 100%.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. people think that that's going to affect their brand, and people are going to be like, oh, you're not professional. But on the contrary, it's attracting people to you because they're like, oh, this is a person.
It's
Oh, they make
authentic.
mistakes as well. Sorry about
Business calls, no.
that. Business texts. So I love those tips. So that's going to be really good. We're going to highlight those, clip those out, because those are powerful for agents that want to do video, but they're so scared to start it. And if you're not doing video, you're staying behind slowly, right?
Because that's the truth, right? Because social media, I was talking to Miriam about this earlier, but like media is not just social media, right? There's different avenues of media,
Yeah.
but social media is just so key, right? Especially for the new generation, even the millennials, right? And like, like social media is huge.
Yeah.
So to be able to say, no, I'm not going to do social media, you're taking a huge part of where, your brand can be.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not just for young people. We have a train track going across, and I was next to another older lady, like pretty old, maybe late 60s, early 70s. And while we were waiting for the train, she was there, and I could see her like
Oh yeah,
scrolling, scrolling.
My dad just discovered YouTube Shorts, so like
Oh.
I'm like, oh man, I'm getting the YouTube Shorts now, like 4 or 5 a day. I'm like, oh man, but they're funny, yeah. So like social media, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikToks, like they're for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great strategy. And I love how you're not able to just, like on a cold call, you're just directed toward one person, which
Right.
is very important. And it could be very great for your business if that's the strategy that you're using and the follow up and all that good stuff. But the cool thing about social media is that you can reach hundreds, thousands, or maybe even dozens, right? It
Right.
doesn't even have to be. But in those 5 minutes that you made a phone call, maybe 50 people saw your video giving them information on
Right.
selling or buying. So
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's like whatever works for you, right? Whatever works for you and for your brand, for your business, just do that,
yeah,
right? And do that 100%, but at least try other avenues.
I love that. Yeah, for sure. You will never know what you're good at, what you love, unless you try different things, right?
Yeah.
So how are you growing? What I know you have a lot of goals for the future, and if you want, you can tell us you can share a little bit about your goals.
I'll share some goals,
Okay.
Some people put a little ojo on you or whatever, I can't share everything now.
No, but we're all about collaboration
Hey,
here.
Yeah.
None of that
Don't give me some bad juju now with my goals.
Okay, give me some of those goals. All blessings for your future, okay? And then how are you working toward achieving those?
Right. So one goal, even starting off in real estate, is like I want to be, like I said, mentioned earlier, like I want to be a top producer, right? So that's a goal. I want to be a top producer. I want to continually be a top producer.
Yeah.
So how does that look like? What do people, the biggest thing is like, what are the people who are top producers? What do they do?
Yeah.
Right. And that's why it's so important to be connected with a strong group of people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if they're doing it and you just are following suit, you are taking, again, you're taking a little bit of what they're doing, taking a little bit of what they're doing, making it your own,
Yeah.
right? But you're there,
Yeah.
right? So definitely being a top producer is one of my goals.
Yes.
And I believe I can, and I believe I will.
Yes, sir. I
So
love that.
I'm
And
going
you're
for that.
working hard.
I'm
You're
working hard.
calling us every month
Yes.
to take photos.
We have
so-
photos booked with you guys next week, so I know you guys are gonna kill it like you guys always do.
And you do a great job with marketing for your sellers, not only for branding yourself, but your clients. So
and they
I
love the
that.
pictures. They love, and that's again like with this, it's always a team, and you guys are part of my team.
Yeah.
And so to know I can trust you guys, and to know my clients when they see the pictures that y'all produce and say, man, Christian's on it,
Yeah.
right? And he's
sure.
solid. So surrounding myself with goal-oriented people, being that top producer, that's definitely one goal. Another goal is just continuing to build up my social media brand, right? So
yeah.
I'm creeping towards, and it's not all about follower count, right? There's so many, social media is so much more than just follower count. There's engagement, the likes, the views, the comments, the shares, right? So much more than that. But I do want to, I'm creeping towards 15,000 followers.
Whoa, that's crazy.
I know. It's
what's
wild.
your main platform?
Instagram at 15K or close to 15. TikTok is a little more than 30,000 followers.
Wow,
Yes.
Coach Salazar.
I'm trying. Hey, I'm
That's
trying.
amazing.
I'm trying, but I'm not satisfied, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's just like I'm proud and I take the moments, take them in, but I just want more,
Yeah.
not in
Yeah, for
greedy
sure.
sense, but in like, I know there's still untapped potential, like there's
Mm-hmm.
still left more, right? So another goal would just be continue to build my social media
I
presence,
love
right?
that. Yeah.
Not necessarily a follow count. I'm not saying I need 30,000 or
Mm-hmm.
100,000, right?
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But just continue with the engagement, continue
Mm-hmm.
with the shares, the likes, the follows, all the aspects of social media.
And how do you, for a little more tactical side on that aspect, how do you learn about social media? Did you just organically, you just started playing around with it, or do you take some? I know there's a ton of like courses on Reels and on TikTok and
Yeah.
how to grow as a real estate
I've
agent.
I've never taken a course, but I've done a lot of just observing what
Mm-hmm.
other people do, observing what other people in different avenues and different careers, right?
Yeah.
One of my best friends, he has he's huge on social media and he kills it. And one of the biggest things with him is just good quality, right? Doesn't have to be perfect, but good quality, consistency, right? And as long as it's something that your niche wants to see and it's good quality and you're consistent with it, it's gonna work,
I
right?
love that. Yeah, that's powerful. Awesome, awesome. So those are your two main big goals.
Those are two big goals. Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
awesome. I'm so excited and we're so honored to be part of
You
teaming
are.
up with you
Yes.
and making sure that you look fantastic for
Oh,
your
y'all do a
clients
great job.
because that is our job for you. So let's round out with some questions that are a little more deeper questions.
I'm okay with deep.
Okay. So what is your favorite or the most important past failure that has led for you to succeed now?
Man, so this is a failure story, but it turned into a success story.
Okay.
Okay. I had these clients in, I believe in June, maybe even May. You know what? It was probably May. And it was a couple, they're gonna get married, but they're just fiancés at this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had found a house. We looked at houses before, and we finally found the house for them. We put the contract in, offer, get the contract accepted, right? This is very like celebratory, joyous moment, right?
Yes.
Contract accepted, right? You guys are about to get the house. You're gonna get married in a
Oh
couple
my
months.
goodness.
Everyone's happy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm like, yes, right? This is
Yeah.
probably one of my early on. This is probably my third or fourth deal done. And then that night, I get a text message from the fiance, from the future
Mm-hmm.
husband, and he was like, "Hey, the deal is gonna be off,"
No.
and he just left me at that. And I was just like, "What?" And like, I didn't sleep at night. I was like, "What is something I did? Like, what happened?" Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, it's kind of like when you get called to the principal's office. You're like, "Did I do something wrong? Like,
Mm-hmm.
was it me? Am I the problem?" No. And so talked to him earlier that morning, the next morning when I was going to work, and they were just feeling led to wait to get
Okay.
closer to the wedding day. And wedding date's gonna happen in a month or so. And so at that moment, I was like, "Dang, I felt like I messed up, and I lost one there, right?"
Mm-hmm.
But still continue to be happy for them, understanding for them, and just real
Yeah.
and just understanding where they're at and where they
Mm-hmm.
want to be, and always maintain professionalism and just honestly a joy from where they want to be and where they're going to be,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I feel like there's too many other realtors, too many other people who is just like, they just want to sell, sell, sell. And
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, it's not about the sell, right? It's about treating people right. And if you treat people right, success will come,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But if you chase over a commission, you chase over a sell, people are like, that's just not the right way to approach it.
Yeah.
And so, we kept in contact, we kept a good, solid relationship, all of that. And then the success story is they just closed their house 2 weeks ago, found them their house. They're gonna get married in a couple weeks. And,
Yay.
you know, it's one of those things where it's just like, at first it was a failure to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I lost one.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, no, you continue to maintain professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
You continue to maintain a good heart and
Yeah.
authenticity. And man, the Lord will bless you.
I
You're
love
good.
that. And I love how I know it's like you feel like it's a failure, you failed, you didn't get the commission check back then, but respecting your clients and understanding maybe they were going through something
Yeah.
and just staying like you mentioned your clients are more than clients, they're friends, they're
Yeah.
family. And eventually they came back because they still love you
Right.
and you honored them through their process that they were going through.
Of course. Of
I
course. And
love
that's
that. That
that's
is powerful.
that's the story. Yes.
Yes, that's awesome. Okay, last one. What advice would you give to a new agent? You're starting off this year. It has been a tough year. Everybody is saying it's been a tough year, and you've been successful for a new agent in 2023. What advice do you give somebody that's not entering during the pandemic where everything was given to them in a beautiful golden platter?
Oh man, I need that platter.
What advice do you give?
I would say, honestly, you just got to approach it with the right mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, focus on what the top producers are doing. No matter what the market is saying, the people who are killing it, they're killing it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so know that it's not easy. A lot of people, they watch Selling Sunset and they think, I'm about to get that, $1 million sale. And it's not, it doesn't work like that, right? And it's a very difficult job, right? It's a very sacrificial job. But if you go in it with the right mentality, you're about to put in work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't, I have a saying, like, you make it happen until it happens,
Yeah.
right? And so that's one of my like quotes. I just quote myself, like, make it happen until it happens. If it's not happened, figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
right? If this is not working, try this. If that's not working, try this. But you cannot give up. And a lot of people, the market is it can pull you down, right? But it's just like, no, like hand to the plow, focus, it's grind time. And you got to be ready to put in that work.
I love that. That's powerful. That's great advice for anybody starting out this year where it's looking rocky. It's very difficult, but listen to Christian's advice.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. Consistency and discipline.
I love that.
Get it.
That's powerful. And another thing that you mentioned is looking to those top producers and connecting with them, like following in their footsteps. Get those leaders, get those mentors to help you out and grow.
Don't ride solo. Don't ride solo. Find a good mentor, right? Finding a good mentor will go a long, long way.
Yeah.
Yep.
You'll get to your goals way faster than trying to do it all by yourself, right?
Right.
I love that. Well, it has been an absolute honor having you here, Christian. Thank you for making the drive all the way over here.
It was a sweet drive.
We love talking to you, sharing with you stories about our crazy students. So any students that belonged to Coach
they're
Salazar,
watching, they're lurking, sometimes stalking, like they're there.
Raul gets messaged. He literally got a message last week. I'm like, who is this? Because it said, "Hey, Dad."
Oh, hey, Dad. Yeah. Hey, it's better, "Hey, Dad," than "Hey, Zaddy" or something like that. Like, wait, bro, what's happening here?
What is this?
What's
kid?
going on?
What is wrong with this kid,
bro?
But any word to them?
Man, I love all my students, past students. Like, I poured my heart out to these kids. I did my goal was for them to have a reason to come to school, to smile, to say, man, I want to go to school because this is that, but I know I'm going to have a good time in Salazar's class. I know I'm going to laugh in Salazar's class, right? And that was my goal. And if there's any ever, like, I poured out my heart, and I love the kids.
I love that. So all you guys out there that Coach Salazar made a big impact on you guys, thank you guys, and we expect great things coming from those kiddos, right?
For sure. I already see it.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Christian, for being here.